Brock Samson is a bodyguard assigned to protect the Venture family. He is a total badass and one of the most capable people in the Ventureverse as a whole. Women everywhere find him irresistible. He is cool under pressure and outside of rage, rarely expresses his emotions emphatically. This is the story of Brock Samson. The furthest back we see Brock is as a college student in the episode Past Tense. He shared a dorm room with Dr. Venture, though the two didn't really get to know each other until later in life. He attended State University on a football scholarship, which he lost after accidentally killing another player on the field. Upon losing his scholarship, Brock left the school to join the OSI. In the episode Assassinating 911, we see Brock's early OSI days and his first meeting with his father figure and mentor, Colonel Hunter Gathers, who provides a great little Brock info dump when they first meet.
Samson Brock, born Omaha, Nebraska to a single mother. Half Swedish, quarter Polish, quarter Winnebago. You lost your virginity at 14, have one brother, and you enjoyed motocross.
Quick note, Winnebago is a Native American tribe from the Nebraska area of the United States. I did not know this, and for the longest time I thought that this was a clever turn of phrase comparing Brock's large size to a large vehicle. Throughout the episode's flashbacks, we see some of the extreme methods that Colonel Gathers used to train Brock, turning him into the incredible badass that he is today. At some point after the events covered in the flashbacks of Assassinating 911, Brock works with an unnamed partner and goes undercover to attend the Goodwill Games, where he first meets Molotov Cocktease, the only woman Brock ever loved.
The only woman I ever loved.
And the only woman Brock couldn't sleep with.
Still?
In Season 3's The Invisible Hand of Fate, Brock has re-teamed with Colonel Hunter Gathers, and the two are in the midst of trying to gain intel on the Guild of Calamitous Intent. After things go awry with their plans, Brock and Colonel Gathers are split up, with Brock being assigned to Operation Rusty's Blanket, serving as a bodyguard to the Venture family while also keeping an eye on a specific patch of ground.
I gotta go deal with this. They're landed in my herb garden.
Brock begins working for the Ventures when Hank and Dean are just babies, and the next 16-ish years are largely unaccounted for, except for that time he and Dr. Venture grew mustaches. Season 1 Brock can be summed up the way most people would sum up Season 7 Brock. He's a highly skilled bodyguard, and women want him. For the first few episodes of Season 1, it's not yet explicitly clear how much Brock cares for Hank and Dean, but that becomes more and more apparent as the first season goes on. In Season 2, Brock's role as a nanny gets dialed way up, while he continues to be a total badass and ladies' man. Season 3 Brock is largely unchanged from Season 2 Brock, but by the end of Season 3, Brock gets pushed to his limits after nearly being killed by his own car and duped by Molotov, who led him to believe that the OSI was trying to kill him. So Brock up and quits. He quits the OSI, and he quits the Venture family. Regardless of the fact that he's missing from half of the episodes in it, Season 4 is where Brock really takes control of his own storyline. When Season 4 starts, Brock is seeking revenge against Molotov, but ultimately ends up joining Sphinx. What exactly that means, the viewer won't discover for nearly half a season. While Brock has off-screen adventures with Sphinx, the audience is made constantly aware of his absence thanks to Hank, who enters into a rebellious phase, lets his hair grow out, and wears Brock's jacket 24/7 until the two are reunited. When Brock finally returns as a regular cast member for the back half of Season 4, he returns as more of a supporting cast member than as a main character. He is still working with Sphinx, which we now know is a shadow organization taking out villains that work outside of the OSI Guild ecosystem. In Season 5, Brock and the rest of the Sphinx operatives rejoin and reform the OSI and make it their primary mission to uncover the identities of the Council of 13. After the events of All This in Gargantua 2, Dr. Venture inherits his brother's business and fortune, making him important enough to justify Brock Samson returning to his post as the Venture bodyguard. Brock also gets, for the first time, the closest approximation to a steady girlfriend the Ventureverse has to offer in the Wonder Woman parody, Warriana. I recently had a coworker finally check out the Venture Brothers after hearing me gush about it for a couple years. His review after watching the pilot, it sucked, but Brock is awesome. Turns out my coworker is exactly half an idiot because while he's dead wrong about the Venture Brothers sucking, his review of Brock Samson was spot on. But I have to imagine this is the perspective a lot of people take when they first watch the Venture Brothers. In early episodes, Hank and Dean are, by design, pretty lame, and Dr. Venture is a monster and a complete failure. Brock is in many ways the polar opposite of the rest of the Venture family, both by oozing coolness and by actually being hyper-competent at his job. Over the years, Brock's character has remained pretty consistent, but there are still some Brock fans who early on were annoyed that they gave him more of a nanny role in Season 2, or were annoyed when Brock was into butt stuff in Season 6. Both perfectly masculine activities for the record. Still, some others found it inconsistent that Brock was so freaked out by ghosts in the Venture Brothers and the Curse of the Haunted Problem. That might be the most justifiable of issues people have with Brock, since previously we had seen Brock be pretty chill about encounters with the supernatural. Personally, I think if the show were to be rebooted today, establishing that Brock is scared of ghosts right from the beginning would be an interesting character trait. I mean, what the hell is Brock going to do head-to-head with a ghost anyway? Punch their head off? Well, maybe. I have to admit I have a bit of a bias against anyone whose favorite character is Brock Samson. It's like if you say you're a giant Queen fan and your favorite song of theirs is Bohemian Rhapsody. Really? Sure, the world is basically in agreement that Bohemian Rhapsody is a great Queen song, but that's seriously your favorite? Out of their whole catalog, that one song that's most famous and is in a bunch of movies and plays on the radio all the time, that's your favorite. And I guess that's sort of how I feel about Brock. He's the pop hit on the Venture Brothers album full of awesome, deep-cut characters. But pop hits are pop hits for a reason. Brock's an easy character to love and an easy character to gif, which people watching the show for the first time need to anchor them to this world of underwhelming idiots. Brock also doesn't change much throughout the series, but he doesn't really need to because he's such a solid, reliably awesome character. So forget all my pretentious hipster bullshit. Bohemian Rhapsody is a damn good Queen song, and Brock fucking Samson is a damn good character. Tune in next week for the story of 21, the exact same format as this video, but with 21 swapped out for Brock. As always, have a great week, and go Team Venture.